guys and gals, Nary here from Drakeling Gaming. Send me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tangled Stars. So y'all, I'm running the latest build on this. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes of entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Okay, here we go. Alright. After the time spent with Andy, nothing important happened for the rest of the day. Although, the conversation I had with him made me think more about them while falling asleep. Oh, hello, totally not furry people. And that should be the last of them. Andy grunts as he places a box in the back of his stand. So, what is your stand about exactly? Really? Isn't it obvious? He gestures around himself. In the back, 3 stoves stood silent next to fridges and storage boxes, along with some other things that I could not quite make out. Cooking something? Yes. Can you guess what, though? Alder looks at me and I look at him. Hot dogs. Close, but no. Oh, that reminds me, I need to go buy one last thing. Why don't you two go explore the festival until I'm back? Then you can be my honorable first customers. Yeah, sure, but who's gonna watch over the stand? An old familiar hyena popped up from behind the side of the stand. Don't worry about that, I'll take care of it. He gives us a thumbs up for a while, with a smile. Andy grabs his keys and proceeds to open the door to his car. You guys are way too trusting. So we don't know what you're gonna feed us until you're back. Nope. He hops inside of his car, and soon enough he drives off into the night. I'll be right back. I need a toilet break real quick. He turns on his heel and gets lost in the crowd of people. Behind me, I feel Chris get up. So, Jonah. Yes? How you been, my boy? It's been a while since I sat down and talked to you. He gestures to a nearby seat, to which I go to sit down. It's going. Nothing bad has been happening. Hell, everything's been going unnaturally well. School just finished with an amazing year, got better results than what I'd hoped for. Chris goes over to a refrigerator and grabs 2 drinks. Well, that's really good to hear. He passes me one, then plops himself into the chair next to mine. How'd you feel? How do you feel? I raise a brow. I'm alright, I guess. No, I meant about meeting your parents. A shiver runs down my spine. That's right, and he convinced me to meet my parents sometime after Christmas. It would have been more fitting for me to come over during Christmas, but that would just ruin both my and their winter evening. And he thinks that maybe trying to build a connection with them would help me. Would help stop it. He managed to convince me while I was getting a haircut at Chris's, so of course he would know. And to be honest, ever since I met him those few months ago, I can say he's been like a parent to both Andy and I. So I guess I'm fine with talking to him about it. My head droops, drink in hand, resting on my knees. To be honest, I don't know what to expect from them. My mother has always been caring, and I never thought she'd do something that would reach those ends. My father? More or less, I guess. He's always avoided those topics. It just prevent me from finding out. I'm hoping to talk to them again, of course. I just don't know how much help that would do. Chris puts a hand on my shoulder, and I lift my head up to meet his gaze. Trust me, Jonah. A child is a treasure no parent would ever dare to wish to lose. They took care of you, loved you, and watched you grow up for 18 years. The dedication it takes to raise a child, the sleepless nights, the frustration. They all lead to the most beautiful moments that I bet they still hold dear to this day. He chuckles. And I'm saying that from experience. That makes my eyes widen a bit. You have children? He gives me a proud, toothy smile. Of course, I have 2 adorable girls. Carefully, he reaches to his neck and opens the locket that hung from it. Inside, there was a picture of 2 hyena girls, no older than 2 at most. They're adorable. Indeed. Even though they scream when things don't go their way, even though some nights I'm kept up by constant crying, I'm always going to love them. No matter what they do in this world, I will always love them. A parent's bond with their child is unbreakable, even if it bends at times. I swirl the drink in my glass, with a small smile forming at the corners of my mouth. You feel any better? Yeah, quite a bit. Thank you. A lot. He smiles again. Of course, I'm always going to be here for you, Jonah. In the distance, we see Alder approaching, and Chris gets up from his seat after a pat on my back. What did I miss? Nothing much. We were just gossiping about boys, eh, Jonah? Alder looks over to Chris with concern, and I let out an amused snort. Indeed, we were. I don't know if he's a very good influence on you, Jonah. Oh, trust me, he's a really good influence. Chris sends Alder a wink from behind the stall, to which he grimaces. I don't want to know what you've been talking about anymore. Also, I'm getting hungry. We'll go in a second. Don't you need help with anything, Chris? Nah, don't worry about me. You kids go and have your fun. I look over to Alder and he just shrugs. You heard him. Let's go. He starts to lead the way, and I follow close behind. I give Chris one last grateful smile before we break off. Pause it right there. Let me drink some water real quick, guys and gals. Keep that throat nice and wet. Sounds weird, but okay. We walk for a bit until we reach a clearing in the venue, where we could have some time to think about what comes next. What's up with the old-timey music? Oh, the whole point of the festival is to celebrate the start of the union between otherkin and humans 1,000 years ago. It's only natural to play music from that time period. Yeah, fair, I guess. Anyways, where do you want to go? Well, you said you want a bite, so how about we go grab one? I see the corner of his mouth curve up a little at the thought. Yes, please. Really need to blank out these people's faces better. It doesn't take us long to go find the place from which the nice aromas were coming from. Oh, it says these are just like stock photos or something. Burger. As we enter a square full of tables, the smell overtakes you. Overtakes us. Sweet, sour, spicy, salty, savory, anything you could want. This place seemed to have it all. On my left, I see Alder have the same usual expression he wears, but one thing gave his happiness away. His wagging tail. He was clearly trying hard to keep it from moving, as it was swaying from side to side at a slow pace. Still, it was an adorable sight to see. Where should we sit? Sitting? We're not sitting yet. We need to check every stand and see what catches our eye. Oh. Never done this before, so I have no idea how it's done. That's all right. If it's your first time, I can take the lead. I quirk a brow. Is that so? You sure take things fast. We didn't even have a date first. What? Yeah. Jonah, you pervert! He rolls his eyes while I chuckle to myself. Come on, let's have a look around. He turns on his heel and starts to lead the way. I keep up with him. I take a look around, really taking in the atmosphere. Across bronze-painted wooden tables, a few families of different kinds enjoyed various meals. The place itself had a very peaceful vibe to it, with a tent splayed above us. The light spread throughout the corners of the square like vines. Smells built upon smells, pricking at your nose with its spice, or soothing your tongue with the sweets. On one of the middle tables underneath the tent, a human family was sharing a hearty laugh along with a family of brown bears. Even the children were running around the table, without a care in the world. It's hard to tell whether they're putting up an act, or if they genuinely get along. The acting was the only problem on Lady and Lottie, especially Rayville. People advertised the peace and quiet between various kin and humans, wanting people to visit and remain. And for a part of it, it's quite true. People do understand and appreciate their differences, but some, not so much. The nature of being still remains, even if they bury it behind smiles and laughs. We are built to despise differences, and there's just a handful who manage to truly get rid of those feelings. That's what I strive to change, even if it may sound stupid. Alright, let's see. Alder breaks my line of thought as he starts to inspect the different menus of different stands. Oh, this one only has desserts. Let's leave it for last. He goes off to another one, whose aesthetic holds a more Mediterranean feel. This one will be perfect. Come on, Jonah. He passes me a menu and proceeds to sink into his own. I open the laminated sheet of paper, which has only 2 pages. They were splattered with various dishes, spread from starters to main courses full of foreign names and ingredients, to sweet delights that caught my eye like a gem. After studying it for a bit, I decided to try something sweet instead. This one dish piqued my interest, called ambrosia salad, the dish of the gods. Very Greek. You ready to order? Yep, ambrosia salad if that's okay. A dessert? But what about a food like borak, or moussaka maybe? Sounds good, and looks greater, but I'm in the mood for something sweet. He hesitates for a moment, wanting to argue his point further, but he gives up. Alright, go find a seat, and I'll be with you as soon as it's done. I give him a thumbs up and start walking towards the tables. As I pass through the people, I stick my neck higher in hopes of finding an empty table. And luckily, in the far end of the place, a table stood lonely. Yeah, right, it's fucking ridiculous. I slow my steps. Why are they making such a commotion for these shitty humans? They caused the wars, and they still hunt us like we're feral animals. At a nearby table, an elderly tiger was chugging away at his beer with a frown pulling down his face. Stop trying to convince me. I never wanted to come here. Now you're trying to tell me how beneficial this flashy place is? It's a fucking act for money manipulation. He takes another swig. Everything would have been easier if he would have more power. He could get rid of the humans. Hey, sir? I look down to see a little bear, no older than 7, pulling at my jeans. I just wanted to say that your necklace is very pretty. My necklace? Oh, yes. I chuckle and ruffle the little guy's hair. Thank you. It's a gift from a very dear friend. I have a good friend, too. He shares his sweets with me. Oh, that's really nice of him. I raise my head and see the family from earlier looking my way and smiling. I pat the little bear one more time. Come on, you should go before your food gets cold. Okay, bye, Mr. Jonah. He runs off back to his table and I clutch my necklace softly. For a second I wonder how he knew my name, but I realized quickly that my name was written on my necklace. Huh, I'm surprised someone so young read cursive better than me. Cute. I start to walk over to the empty table again and plop myself down on one of the short benches awaiting Alder. It doesn't take him long to come over with 2 disposable bowls in his hands. Thanks a lot, waiter. Want a tip? He smirks as he places my food down. Sure, but after we get home. Can't let you do anything like that in public. It takes me a second to realize what he means and my temperature skyrockets. You filthy pervert! Learn from the best. He winks as he hands me a spoon. What you got there? He sits down and reaches over for a tissue. Well, I thought I could match you with the Greek dish, so I got a slice of Galactoboreko. Galactoboreko. What? Oh, thank you, Jonah. Okay. Greek custard pie with syrup, basically. Interesting. Sounds good. Want to try it? If it doesn't kill, then sure. Yeah, I asked for it to be poisoned. Gimme! He chuckles as he cuts off a piece with his fork, stabbing into it. He looks at me, then at the fork, hesitating. I realize what he's thinking of doing, and I just shrug internally. The table was relatively small, so I just needed to lean towards him a slight bit, and he was in range. He leans on the table casually a bit also, and brings the fork to my mouth. The moment it enters my mouth, a burst of syrupy sweet branches out in all my taste buds. It's amazing! Must be the poison. Har har! We chuckle among ourselves, and I grab my fork. Want to try mine? Can't even if I wanted to. I'm allergic to pineapple. What? Seriously? Dude, you're missing out on the best fruit there is. I'll live. Oranges exist. They're so basic. Don't you like basic things, though? You're beyond basic. Is that why you like to hang out with me so much? I sigh and dig into my own dessert as he laughs to himself. This thing is divine. Not surprised, they call it the food of the gods. We continue to munch on our food for a while longer, while talking about different plans for the upcoming weeks. After we finish, I managed to make a hesitant Alder come along with me to the rides. Children screaming, people laughing, and the smell of cotton candy filled the air. A faint smell of burning metal lingered in the air, most likely from one of the more intense rides. I'm so glad they decided to hold a festival adjacent to the theme park. I don't trust any traveling rides. Yeah. I look around myself, taking a second to decide where to go. Well, there's the carousel, but that's way too boring. My eyes lay on the highest roller coaster, the edges of my mouth tugging at me with an excited grin. Alder sees it, and I feel him shiver next to me. He looks away to the other rides, and I see his tail thrashing nervously behind him. Maybe I shouldn't go for that ride just yet. It's a ride which has a decent speed, great excitement, and won't be too scary. Last call for the Ferris wheel! Oh, that answers the question. Hey, want to try the big wheel? Alder looks at me, then up high at the gigantic wheel. His expression is still as usual, but he's having a harder time to retain it. He's actually scared? Come on, it'll be fun! What's so fun in being stuck in a small room at a ridiculous height? The views! Plus, I really want to take a picture of the city from up there. He grumbles and swishes his tail again. Leaving in 2 minutes! Please? He lets out a big shaky sigh. Fine, fine. Let's just get it over with. Along with my smile and Alder's frown, we buy our entry on the wheel. I impatiently hop into the little cabin, plopping myself in one of the seats. Alder hesitates a bit, weary of his choices. He looks up at the wheel one more time, seemingly about to drop out. But, after a deep breath, he hops inside too, and with a thud from the outside, the door is sealed shut. He sits down right... Wait, okay. I was just making sure the time of day didn't suddenly change. He sits down right in front of me, avoiding my gaze for some reason. Before I can ask him, a shake brings the structure to life, very slowly moving us up. Alder's eyes widen for a split second, his hands gripping this handle on the side for dear life. His eyes flicked outside, and the moment he saw that we were rising, he squeezes them shut. Alder, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He tries to open his eyes, but he closes them right back. My stomach twists and turns with guilt. I didn't expect him to react like that. Alder? I reach out to place my hand on top of his. I'm sorry, I didn't know this would scare you so much. I really am. He always tries so hard to put on that face he always shows to everyone. Now, I pushed him so hard that it's impossible to even think about holding that image. His grip on the handle subsides slightly. and his eyes open slowly. A deep breath and a whisper to himself. I'm okay. A silence overtakes the cabin, with the muffled music from outside too quiet to pay any mind. He takes his hand off the handle completely, still not looking outside, but with fully opened eyes he holds his gaze on mine. I smile. Better? Yeah, a bit. He smiles. Our eyes remain locked on each other. Only now do I get to really look into his. A pair of cyan windows lit up even in this dark, small space. I could see faint shards of white and gold that shone from time to time, tiny glints of a wish. The longer I looked and searched his eyes, the tighter my throat felt. My shoulders felt tighter, and my nose tickled softly. My chest and abdomen felt fluttering comfort spreading like a body of water, like a river of a forgotten spring. I felt it branch out throughout my body, meeting all the same in one singular spot. An oasis full of warmth. My cheeks, flushed like blooming roses that lied in bushes of vermilion under my eyes. He opened his mouth, about to say something. Oh! The sound of crackling fireworks and cheers from the outside cut him off, making our heads snap up towards the source. Flashes of purple, pink, and whites lit up the night sky. Underneath it, the city lies as a canvas, painted in all the colors of the spectrum by the lights above. And music drowned in the bangs and explosions of the fireworks, along with the shouts of people. The shouts of people who wish for freedom, of equality, and of safety. Shouts that bring back the promises made centuries ago. Shouts that commemorate and celebrate where Ladia was all those years ago. How far it has come, and how far it will go. My eyes drift from the view of the fireworks onto Alder, whose fur shifts from color to color. Yet somehow his eyes held the same azure quality, as if set on remaining unchanged. He smiled to the fireworks, with his head leaning on the glass behind him. Alright, guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell if you're super thanks. Or if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!